Hey1, AFM, back to another video where I'm just going to show you this game I played on FIDE Online Arena yesterday. Today, there is no candidates update. Today's a break. We have the candidates starting from tomorrow around 5. So, here we go. We can actually go through this a little slower. I have the white. My opponent has the black. Here we go. By the way, yeah, as you can see, this is FIDE's official website, and here we have Arena FIDE, or AFM right there. So here we go. E4, E5, knight to F3, knight to C6, knight to C3. Notice how I'm developing my pieces. Absolutely anything. So we have bishop to C5, bishop to C5, bishop to C4. Bishop to C4 now looks at this pawn on F7. Or in this case, bishop to queen's bishop 4, which is much, it's the old annotations and it's confusing, but it actually tells you which bishop moved to which square. Hence, bishop to queen's bishop 4, right? So queen's bishop to king's bishop, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, queen's bishop 4, right? Here we go. D6. 3, E3 again, like I said, kind of like a pawn pyramid, right? This is 3 connected pawns. My opponent's doing it so far so good too. 3 connected pawns. We have bishop to G4. Bishop to G4. Point of the bishop is to pin my knight to my queen. So what do I do? Well, H3 says I haven't castled yet, so I want to challenge this bishop. If you take, you toss in my queen, and now I'm threatening mate, right? So what does my opponent do? Backs up to bishop to H5, bishop to H5, and G4, chasing bishop because I have not castled yet. And maybe, who knows? Maybe I want to castle this way. I probably want to castle queen side. So my opponent drops the bishop to G6, bishop to G6, and my bishop goes to D7. My opponent plays H6. Trying to stop my knight from jumping into G5 makes complete sense. And we play H4. H4, now I want to push my G pawn, and if you take, I'm happy. First things first, I will move this rook, but in general sense, I'm happy. Because if I push, you take, I can probably even bring my knight in, or I can bring my bishop in and just cause absolute mayhem. My opponent pushes the H pawn to H5. I play G5. Now, is kind of stuck. The queen's not really getting a good development. It has to go this way, right, to D7. Plus, it blocks this knight from ever going to F6. And remember, knights on the rim are dim. My opponent might do this, but again, he plays this and he's cutting off his queen square completely, right? Again, queen has to go here, waste a move, right? D4, knight to D4, looking to trade off the knights. I oblige. Knight takes D4, bishop takes D4, and we have queen to E2. Queen to being, I want to, right? King safety. My opponent plays E7, looking for the same things. I castle, and my opponent plays A6. A6. Point being A6, you want to play B5. B5 to kick this bishop. However, no worries. I jump my knight to D5. Knight to D5 now attacks the queen on E7 as well as this C7 pawn. So what does my opponent do? Brings to D7, and I play, look at this, F4. F4, point of F4. If you don't take, I will trap that bishop with F5. F5, and this bishop goes here, and the bishop has no hope. As soon as the bishop has no hope, I will start shoving pieces towards the board, right? Also, it gives my bishop a good balcony. I can put my bishop here. If you take, queen takes, and now my queen is looking at this area of the board as well. So what does my opponent do? Well, he takes the pawn. So we have E takes F4, bishop takes F4, and we have G4. G4 now attacks my knight. My knight can't go here because, again, that's just an absolute hang. Knight to B5 is, or knight to B6 is a hang. Hence, you would bring the knight to E3. Knight to E3. So if bishop takes E3, bishop takes E3, and my bishop's looking very nice, right? Now my opponent plays b5. b5, attacking my bishop. My bishop just drops to b3. Cool, calm, and collected. My bishop's not dying here. What does my opponent do? He plays a5. I play a3. a4. Bishop just drops to a2. And look at this. Sniper of a bishop. You're never removing the sniper, ever. Right? Why? Because he's protected by not one, not two, but 3 technical bodyguards. Right? The king himself is also a bodyguard to this pawn. Right? Here we go. Oh, by the way, my king has a smoking break. Okay, my king can go to this balcony and smoke, and the smoke will get out this chimney. Right? Okay. Opponent plays d5, d5, and he takes d5. He takes with, well, c takes d5. C takes d5, knight takes d5, check. Notice how it's knight takes d5, check, because my queen is lined up on the king. Discovered, check. As an ambush, check. What does my king opponent do? Well, he plays knight. Knight to e7, knight takes e7. Queen takes e7. Queen takes e7, check. King 7, and we have, look at this, rook h e1, check. Again, notice why I said rook to h e1, because rook on h goes to e1. But same with rook on d can go to e1. Hence, king's rook, king 1. Right? King's rook to king 1. Right? Okay, check. Opponent goes to king to f8. This rook is now blocked off completely. He has no future. Okay, so what do? Well, I want to trade bishops. Bishop to e5. If bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, and we're winning this. What do? My opponent says, I want none of that, and I play rook to e8. Rook to e8, okay, and I just snap take that bishop because he hung a bishop. So bishop takes d4. Bishop takes d4, and my opponent takes rook takes e1. Rook takes e1. We trade rooks. What does my opponent do? Look at this, look at this. He plays f5. Watch this. En passant, we have g takes f5. My opponent takes with the g-pawn. G takes f5. Rook to f1. Right? Rook to f1. Opponent plays king to g7, ending their entire career, because now it's a fork. You ran right into a fork, plus a discovered attack, plus a pin. I don't know how you did that, because now we have bishop takes f6, check, and resigns here. My opponent resigns here because no matter where this king goes, that rook is dead. It's gone. Anyway, folks, I hope you learned a lot from this video. Notice how Stockfish calls this inaccuracy, which move is h4 and inaccuracy. I don't care. I'm not the engine, fish, so you should shut up. You're looking a game between a guy who has just passed the 8th grade, has graduated 8th grade, and is trying to go into 9th grade, okay? I have just finished middle school, trying to go into high school, and like I said, this guy's a PhD yelling at a middle schooler. That does not look good for him. All right. Anyway, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My book, again, is on Amazon, $13.99 right now. After the candidates, it's going right back to $16 Canadian, $10 USD, $12 USD after the candidates, $5 USD for the ebook, $7 Canadian for the ebook. Okay? I showed you how to do that last video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out.